Hello and welcome to the session. Consumer and Intellectual Property Law, LO1, analyze the main principles affecting the legal relationship between business organizations and their consumers. Are you aware of how consumer and intellectual property laws affect businesses and consumers? This video explores the core principles of these laws and their impact on legal relationships. Discover the key elements that ensure fairness and accountability. The Consumer Rights Act 2015 governs the sale of goods. It ensures consumers receive products that meet legal standards. Implied terms cover quality, purpose, and description. Breaching these terms makes sellers liable. Ownership transfers when parties intend, often upon payment or delivery. Consumers have remedies if goods don't meet standards. They can reject goods within 30 days for a refund. Repair or replacement is also an option. Price reduction or final rejection applies if issues persist. Refunds must be prompt and use the original payment method. Businesses cannot exclude liability for implied terms in contracts. Attempts to do so are void under the Consumer Rights Act. Limitation clauses must be fair and transparent. Unfair clauses are unenforceable. This ensures consumer protection is not compromised. Digital content is protected under the Consumer Rights Act. This includes software, apps, and online services. Content must be of satisfactory quality and fit for purpose. Defective content requires repair or compensation. Consumers can seek repair, replacement, or price reduction. Service contracts are also governed by the Consumer Rights Act. Services must be performed with reasonable care and skill. They should be completed within a reasonable time. If no price is agreed, it should be reasonable. Consumers can demand repeat performance or price reduction. Product liability is governed by the Consumer Protection Act 1987. It introduces strict liability for defective products. Consumers need not prove negligence. Liability covers personal injury, death, or property damage. Manufacturers and importers are primarily liable. Businesses must ensure products meet safety standards. Breaches can lead to civil and criminal penalties. Product recalls and reputational damage are consequences. Defenses include proving defects did not exist at supply. Scientific knowledge can also be a defense. Implied terms in contracts ensure goods meet quality standards. They are governed by the Consumer Rights Act. Goods must be satisfactory, fit for purpose, and as described. Sellers must have the right to sell goods. Breaches give consumers legal remedies. Service contracts include implied terms for care and skill. They are governed by the Consumer Rights Act. Services must be performed within a reasonable time. Prices should be reasonable if not agreed. Consumer protection is strengthened by binding terms. Implied terms ensure minimum standards in consumer contracts. They focus on quality, suitability, and ownership. In services, they emphasize professional standards. These terms override unfair contracts. Legal remedies are clear when obligations are unmet. The Consumer Rights Act replaced parts of the Sale of Goods Act. It strengthens consumer protection. Case law like Rogers v. Parrish influences standards. The Act simplifies remedies and favors consumers. Businesses face higher compliance costs. Product liability is governed by the Consumer Protection Act. It introduces strict liability for defective products. Consumers need not prove negligence. Liability covers personal injury and property damage. Manufacturers and importers face significant risk. Strict liability prioritizes consumer safety. It ensures compensation without proving negligence. Cases like AV National Blood Authority highlight its strength. Producers face heavy financial risk. Development Risks Defense offers limited relief. Common law supports statutory consumer protection. Donahue v. Stevenson established the duty of care. Statutory law reduces reliance on negligence claims. Common law remains relevant where statutes don't apply. This dual system provides flexibility. The statutory framework favors consumer protection. Courts interpret laws to maximize consumer safety. This increases legal exposure for businesses. Reasonableness and effectiveness remain subjective. The law shifts risk onto businesses. The Consumer Rights Act implies strict terms into contracts. It improves clarity over previous laws. Strong implied terms protect consumers. Right to reject brings certainty. Information as binding term increases trust. The Act's reliance on reasonableness introduces uncertainty. Businesses face unpredictable liability. Rigid obligations may be harsh on sellers. The Act can encourage opportunistic behavior. Compliance risks increase for businesses. The Consumer Protection Act imposes strict liability. It prioritizes consumer safety. Producers face heavy financial risk. Development Risks Defense offers balance. Courts prevent the act from being overly punitive. Case law interprets statutory provisions in a consumer-friendly way. It stretches liability to maximize protection. This enhances consumer confidence. It increases legal exposure for businesses. Courts balance fairness with consumer safety. The statutory framework protects consumers in unequal relationships. Courts interpret statutes favorably for consumers. The Consumer Rights Act improves clarity. The Consumer Protection Act ensures safety. Together, they promote confidence and accountability. In conclusion, analyzing the main principles affecting the legal relationship between business organizations and consumers is essential for ensuring fair, transparent, and lawful business practices. Consumer law principles such as protection from unfair trading, product safety, accurate information, and consumer rights shape how businesses interact with customers. Understanding these principles helps organizations maintain compliance, build trust, and protect consumer interests while reducing legal risk. A strong grasp of consumer law supports ethical business conduct and sustainable relationships between businesses and consumers. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via email or WhatsApp at 07-484-361688.